Frequency separation is a great tool that we can use to smooth out the skin without ruining the skin texture. So before we get started, what I like to do is make sure that the skin is as perfect as we can make it. So what I like to do is I like to use the patch tool and the healing brushes just to smooth that out. So what we do is just zoom in just a little and then just select the blemish like so, and then just click and drag, and that will just sample some of the surrounding layer, the areas. And then keep doing that. And this is something that I take your time on because it just really does pay off. And so for these flyaway hairs, what I like to do is I like to use my spot healing brush. So let's grab that, and then making sure that the brush is slightly wider than the hair itself. I like to just go in and paint away those flyaways like so. And this is just quick and easy. It doesn't take that long. So let's do that. Alright, now that we have the skin as blemish free as possible, what I like to do is just duplicate the layer, the background layer twice. And so to do that, click Command J on your keyboard, and you just want to do that twice, or it's Control J if you're on a Windows computer. And so just to keep everything organized, what I like to do is I like to rename my layers. And so let's rename the bottom layer color and the top layer texture. Now that we've done that, just click color layer, go to filter, then go to blur, and then you want to click Gaussian blur. And then what we're going to do is just apply a slight blur to this. So around 8 or 9 is usually what works for me. So click that and click OK. And then you can see that it just adds us a slight blur. Now click your texture layer. Go to image, apply image, and then it gives you kind of a drop down menu, and make sure that the under layer, the color layer is selected, and that's this layer right here. For blending, you want to make sure that it's at subtract, and make sure that scale is at 2 and the offset is at 128. Click OK, and already you can kind of see it kind of makes a kind of a gray mess right here. And so to fix that, you go to your blending mode right here, and then just switch that blending mode to linear light, and that'll just pop everything back to normal. I can show you what that does. And so what that does is it creates a color layer, and then also creates a texture layer right there. And so this allows us to work on either the color or the texture without affecting each other. So now you just want to grab your lasso tool, and then just start selecting the pieces of skin that you want to be affected by the frequency separation. So once you have that selected, go back to filter, go to blur, and then go to Gaussian blur again. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to create a stronger blur just to smooth down that skin. And so you can see at 8 you're not really seeing anything. And then if you go too far, like 700, something crazy like that, it'll just make it look bad. And so I find that around 21 to 25 usually works the best for me. And so once you click that, click OK, and let's deselect that. And now what you want to keep doing is do that to the whole face. And so let's keep doing that. Like so. Okay, and so for the nose, what I like to do is I like to decrease that blur just a little, just because you want to preserve as much detail as possible. So let's move that down to about 14, 15. Click OK, select that, and then continue on for the rest of the face. Just kind of popping that back. Great. Now that we've kind of done that, what we want to do now is group the texture and color layer together. So just shift, hold down, and then click Command G, and that'll just group those together. And so now what we can do is you can look at the before and after. I find when I use the Gaussian blur, it does kind of affect the sharpness in the eyes and the eyebrows and the nose. And so to combat that, what we want to do is we want to click Command J to duplicate the layer again, the background layer. And then you want to shift click again, right click, and merge those layers together. And that'll just put everything on one layer. Then what I want to do is I want to create a mask, so I go down to the mask button, click the mask, and that'll just create a white mask. And now the way masks will work in Photoshop is white is visible and black is not visible. And so now what we want to do, so we don't have the frequency separation affect the eyes or the nose or the mouth or the brows, what we want to do is grab your brush, B for brush, and then let's change the color to black so it's not visible. And then you want to do is you want to just paint away the eyes and anything that you don't want to be affected by the frequency separation. So I like to do the nose and the mouth. And it's subtle, but it makes the whole difference when it comes to sharpness. Finally, what you want to do is merge these layers together. So shift click and then merge those together and you're done. That's frequency separation in a nutshell for you guys. I'm gonna be making more videos like this, just describing my workflow. So just click that subscribe button just to stay updated for those. Peace.